From the National Weather Service in Raleigh, it's Nick Petro with your winter storm update. And certainly things are underway. This was our 7th briefing in this series as of 4:30 today, Thursday, the 20th of January. I sent these slides out, I think around 12:30, maybe 1 o'clock, with some precipitation type simulations. So I hope you had a chance to look at that. And we made some very subtle tweaks to snow and ice amounts. Let me show you current radar. And I've turned on the color coding thing that, this is normally the way we look at radar, but there's this color coding algorithm that kind of gives a sense of where the precipitation type is changing. And as I put this into a pause on the latest frame and get my highlighter out, you can see this line right here? Follow that line over the next moment as I loop this, and you'll see that line is drifting south. Okay, so that's the changeover line from rain to snow. There's also some snow here west of Danville, south of Blacksburg. So basically there's 2 areas that are probably going to see a switch over to snow first. The Triad region probably in the next 2 hours, and the counties along the northern I-95 corridor, northern I-85 corridor will probably see this changeover line will probably be down to here within 2 hours. Okay, so we're going to be seeing snow in Warren, western Halifax, Vance, northern Granville, Person counties here by probably by 6:30, and the same for the Triad. Okay, so this is current conditions as of 4:30. Let me erase my drawings here, and let me minimize this. And let's go ahead and take a look at some things here. So when you get these slides, I'll email these out here shortly, but when you get them, I have 2 of these tables, one for tonight and one for Friday and Friday night. And they're 2 separate tables because there was just too much, I'm still thinking of this as a 2, like a 1-2 type event. There's 2 separate events all packaged into one winter weather event. Okay. So for this evening, we're dealing with that changeover from rain to snow, maybe a little sleet, maybe a little freezing rain getting involved, particularly south and east of Raleigh. Could there be some hazardous travel late this evening? Yeah, there could be a coating of snow, particularly north of Highway 64. I think the bigger problem with hazardous travel is overnight tonight. I'm looking outside, right? We're here in Raleigh, and I'm looking at all these roads are wet. They're all wet. So temperatures are going to drop into the 20s overnight tonight. And I just don't know that there's going to be much of an opportunity for these wet roads to dry up. I mean, clearly you can see, let me go back to radar. I mean, there's still rain across pretty much all of central North Carolina. So every road from, across our entire county warning area, all 31 counties that we serve here in National Weather Service Raleigh, every one of them is going to have wet roads heading into the nighttime hours. And overnight tonight after midnight, we'll start to see those temperatures dropping below freezing. So I think black ice is going to be a concern across all of central North Carolina through tomorrow morning and tomorrow morning's commute. Okay. I'm not saying it's going to be widespread, but, I'm looking at some puddles here, on the roads and parking lots around me. And certainly those could freeze. So I bet that'd be the same situation in where you're at too, if it's still raining. Okay. All right, William asks real quick, what about Wake County regarding that changeover time south of Raleigh? William, I'm going to get to that, so hang on just a minute. I will get to changeover times here this evening for everybody. Tomorrow, this table is a separate table. Snow, sleet, freezing rain, hazardous travel, and black ice. Same hazards, okay? But I think I think we're going to be looking at maybe the second half of the event late tomorrow night. Okay, so let's get into the simulations here, and I did tweak these. This current radar is slightly dated. That's 4 p.m. is when I grabbed that screen capture, and you can see by 6 p.m. Notice how I've kind of already alluded to Halifax, Warren, Granville, Vance, Person County, and the Triad starting to see some of that changeover to snow and sleet. And William just asked, well, what about Wake County and south of Wake County? And it looks like by 9 p.m., Wake County, maybe northern western Johnson, maybe Chatham, maybe Lee County, will be in on that changeover. So I would say that switch over to in Wake County will be sometime between 7:30, 8 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. So, sometime in that 90-minute window between 7:30 and 9, I think we're going to see a changeover from rain to snow from north to south. So if you're up in around Falls Lake, it'll probably be closer to 7:30. If you're down in Fuquay, it'll probably be closer to 9 o'clock. So that's the idea there, from north to south. Okay, so rain will gradually mix with and change to snow or snow and sleet from north to south this evening. And while the snow and sleet mix is expected to be light, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a coating, maybe up to an inch of snow and sleet north of Highway 64. Okay, so again, where is Highway 64? And I'm going to draw this very, very roughly, so please forgive my approximation, but that's approximate line. When we talk about the I-65 corridor, we're generally talking that line and northward. Okay, so sub-freezing temperatures, I think, will probably be is equal, if not bigger, of a story pouring into central North Carolina late this evening and overnight, setting the stage for black ice to form, and with this rainwater that we've got on the roads. Okay, so that's going to be event number 1 this evening. Okay. All right, looking at tomorrow. I do have an overnight slide. Okay, so I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. All right, so overnight. So where's that transition line going to go? It's going to shift down to roughly the, I always like to use Highway 24, because Highway 24 kind of separates like the southern third of central North Carolina. So it'll probably get down to the Highway 24 corridor, the snow and sleet mix, before it just kind of eases up overnight tonight. But again, don't forget about the black ice, both 3 and 6 a.m. time frame. So anyway, what about the ETA for freezing or below in the triad? Christopher asks, and that's probably going to occur probably as we head toward midnight, if not 1 a.m. And the reason is, well, I'll show you. You know what? Because we're talking about tonight, let me just show you that real quick. Let me just pull up a model here that. Bear with me here for just a second while I find a web page tab here. And bear with me, I'm loading something on another screen, so just hang in there for a minute, and I will, once I get it fully loaded. So the question is, well, when is the temperature going to drop below freezing? And this is a model. This is the high-res rapid refresh model, which, as you know, on day 1, I'm a fan of. And let me see if I could zoom in just a little bit to make this easier to see. Okay. And let me back up here. Now, what do you notice here? This is current time right here. No, wait. Right here roughly is current time. And what do you notice about the temperatures? The freezing line is this line right here. Okay. And what do you notice about that? The freezing line is basically aligned along the mountains. Okay. So the mountains block the progression of cold air eastward. Okay, it blocks it, literally. So how do we get our cold air? We don't get our cold air generally from the west. We get our cold air from the north. Okay, because it has to build to the north. It has to build to the north and take the scenic route, so to speak. It has to build to the north and come down from the north. So watch what happens in terms of our cooling temperatures on this model as I go through the evening hours. Look how it kind of seeps down from the north. Okay, so that's very, very typical. We always get our cold air from, not always, but 9 times out of 10, we're getting our cold air from the north rather than the west, thanks to the mountains to the west. So when does it drop below freezing in the triad? This is a 1 a.m. Okay, so you'd think, well, the snow is going to come first before the solid drop into the 20s. So we're below freezing by 4 or 5 a.m. all the way down to the South Carolina border. Okay, so notice how it's kind of instead of it going below freezing first in the triad and then Raleigh, it might actually go below freezing in Raleigh before the triad, only because of the way the cold air is seeping down from the north. Okay, thanks to the mountains. All right, so I just wanted to point that out since you asked that question. Again, the freezing, sub-freezing temperatures will be building from the north to the south. Suffice it to say, by 6 a.m., it'll be cold enough everywhere across central North Carolina for the potential for black ice. Okay? All right, so that's overnight tonight. Daytime Friday. So what happens? We get a break in the weather. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, even noon. Probably most of central North Carolina will be precip free. But by, early afternoon, maybe as early as noon, but more likely afternoon, we start to see some very patchy light snow along I-95 and points east. Obviously freezing rain near the coast. And with time during the afternoon, that light snow may expand, maybe even a little bit further west of I-95. But notice if you're west of I-95, notice how it's real patchy here, very light. I don't think this is really going to amount to a whole lot. I think the daytime snow is going to be very, very light, patchy, maybe flurries at times. But suffice it to say, you can see the further you go east, the more concentration of snow. And then as you get to the coast, obviously it's more freezing rain and ice. Okay, so that light snow will be redeveloping in the I-95 corridor during the afternoon hours. Travel may become increasingly hazardous as the daytime goes on, particularly along I-95 and points east. But by Friday evening, this is where I think we're going to get into those heavier snow amounts along and east of I-95. And you could see the back edge of the snow. The back edge of the snow, is in this particular model is basically aligned along the US 1 corridor. Okay, so here it is. That's roughly the US 1 corridor. We have got a lot of models that show the back edge of the snow not being any further west than I-95. Okay, there's a model or two. If you look hard enough, you can find a model. If you look hard enough, you can find pretty much anything in a model. But you'll find, if you look hard enough, a model or two that has it snowing all the way back to the Triad. Okay, so that yellow hatched area, I'm calling the zone of uncertainty, because this back edge could be further east, it could be further west. If my gut tells me it's going to be, if it's not right here where the model shows it, I'm willing to bet it's going to be further east. I think if there's an error here, I think this back edge is going to be further east than what these models are showing. Okay, so again, there's a high degree of uncertainty in that yellow area. Once you get east of I-95, we're pretty confident, because that's what the models have been showing. Day after day, it's always that area between I-95 and the US 1 corridor where we're just really struggling with. Okay, so I call that the zone of uncertainty. Confidence is fairly high that snow will accumulate, 2 to 4 inches along and east of I-95 tomorrow evening, but the highest amounts will be further north and east, like more toward northeast North Carolina, where it was basically snowing more prolonged period of time. Okay, the sleet will likely mix in with the snow across the southern coastal plain region, and that might actually limit how much snow and depth may occur there. And then finally, the yellow zone of uncertainty. In that yellow zone of uncertainty, our confidence is very, very low. Snow amounts may range from nothing at all in that yellow zone of uncertainty to several inches, depending on which weather model ends up being correct. Okay, so how far west the western edge of the snow reaches is very uncertain at this time. My gut tells me it's going to be further east than what this model shows. Okay, that's my gut. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again at some point in the future. But my gut's telling me it's probably, if I had to pick whether it's going to be further west or further east in that yellow zone of uncertainty, my gut's telling me it's going to be a little bit further east. Okay, we'll see. I could go either way there. All right, that's Friday evening. Finally, by Friday night to Saturday morning, the whole system begins to exit. Okay, so snow will begin to get out of here after midnight. By 3 a.m., it should be over across central North Carolina. But, hazardous travel conditions will probably remain, particularly, obviously, where the snow fell. So we're talking, east of I-95, maybe along I-95. And then after that, we'll just be dealing with black ice concerns, okay, for the next couple mornings. All right, how much? So let's get to the amounts. This is for tonight. I have two separate snow maps. This map here is just for this evening and tonight. So we're talking north of Highway 64, a light coating, maybe up to an inch. If you're Roxborough to Henderson northward, it could be, an inch or two even. If you're up near the Virginia border, wouldn't be surprised if there were 2 inches of snow that fell with that brief period this evening into the early overnight. Okay, south of Highway 6, and remember, where's, just again, I know I do this every time, and people who know this are probably getting a little frustrated. I apologize, but I'm doing this for folks who don't know, or may not remember, or may not be familiar, or maybe new to the area. The Highway 64 corridor runs roughly in that area, roughly approximate. So, south of 64, there could be a light coating of sleet, or maybe even some freezing rain tonight. Okay. Not a big deal, though, okay? That's tonight. Tomorrow, late day, snow, how much? These are snow amounts for just tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow evening. Again, 2 to 3 inches of additional snow is possible along and east of I-95. Highest amounts east, okay? So as you get into eastern North Carolina, that's where you're going to find the higher amounts. 1 to 2 inches of snow is possible between I-95 and US 1. Okay, I-95, again, here's I-95 right here, and US 1 runs approximately right down here, okay? So an inch or two of snow in that 95 to US 1 corridor certainly appears possible, okay? But that's within the zone of uncertainty. So, it could be more, it could be a little less, okay? I would say once you get west of US 1, our confidence is fairly good that it's going to be very little, if any, accumulation. Certainly under an inch west of US 1. Okay? So in the zone of uncertainty, it could go either way if that back edge is further west. Or east, it could be less. All right. So what about snowfall totals for both? This is for both events, tonight and tomorrow night. And these are snowfall totals. Again, high degree of uncertainty in the zone of uncertainty. All right, what about freezing rain? A very light glaze of freezing rain is possible tonight through 7 a.m. Friday, south and east of Raleigh. The area in central North Carolina with the best chance to see minor ice accumulation will be in Sampson County. But even there, ice accumulation will be less than 1/10 of an inch. And this is just tonight. But what about tomorrow? Well, during the day and evening Friday, the area with the best chance to see freezing rain and ice accumulation will be south of a line from Fayetteville to Goldsboro. Okay, southern Sampson County will likely see the highest accumulations, 1/10 to 1/4 inch of ice is possible. And when you get ice amounts close to 1/4 inch or higher, that's when you begin to see scattered down trees and power outages, okay? Again, mainly from Clinton southward, I think, is the area in central North Carolina that has the best chance to see these down trees and power outages due to ice. All right. And then again, this is storm total ice. So again, the best chance for impacts from ice will be from Clinton, Sampson County, southward. All right. These are totals for both snow and ice. And I've just shared, again, I'll be emailing these slides out, so feel free to take a look at this. And to wrap it up, basically, high confidence for today and tonight, low confidence for Friday and Friday night. And again, just to kind of wrap it up, light rain will continue to spread across central North Carolina this evening, but begin to change to snow on the northern edge of the precip as the evening goes on. Scattered light snow showers possible north of Highway 64 this evening and tonight, with sleet and freezing rain south of 64. Again, very light amounts. A coating to up to an inch of snow or sleet is possible north of Highway 64. Along with the glaze of ice southeast. Okay, all of central North Carolina may see some black ice tonight due to rain-wet roads from earlier today. And then, of course, after the widespread black ice problems tomorrow morning, some additional light snow is expected to develop tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night. Best chance for accumulating snow along and east of I-95. Again, 2 to 4 inches possible along and east of 95. Highest amounts east, up to Oh, that should be up to an inch. I'm sorry. I've got some words missing there. Up to an inch of accumulation is possible between 95 and US 1, with less than an inch west of US 1. All right. Again, high degree of uncertainty. Let me just remind you that this is our last live webinar for today. I'll be doing another series of webinars tomorrow. I'll be doing a live webinar just like I'm doing now at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, same time, same place. And our forecasters who are working the evening and overnight will update the slides and send them out if that is needed. Okay? Let me, before I wrap it up here for the recording, let me just show one last look. It's 4:50 p.m. and look how quickly that rain snow line is shifting toward the Virginia border from South Central and Southeast Virginia. It's moving pretty quick. So if you're up in Roanoke Rapids, you're probably going to see snow in the next hour. If you're up in Warrenton, probably snowing within the next 60 to 75 minutes. Okay, so anyway, it's coming. And with that, I will stop the recording here and be ready to take some questions.